Hey VW lovers, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So another big day in the shop here. As you can see, the ruby red 69 cowlick bug is back in our shop, having been freshly painted. Pretty happy with how the paint job came out. They have already color sanded it and buffed it. We'll have our guy that we use do it again when the car is done, but overall pretty good. They didn't do the trunk area, so it's pretty dull and kind of orange peely looking. I may go and do that myself or see if I can round up someone else to do it, because I don't know that we're going to be putting a liner in here, but not a big deal either way. And of course, we'll give this whole area in here the same treatment that we did like on the Ghia there. If you remember, those of you that have been watching, this will all be texture undercoating painted all up underneath there. The suspension, of course, we'll put all new tie rods, all that stuff, new brakes, new brake components, and new master cylinder, all that stuff, new wiring, of course. So yeah, glad to have this car back finally. The paint job took way longer than they said it would. This seems to be kind of the thing with painters. They always tell you like, oh, we're gonna have it done in a couple weeks, and a couple months later it's back. So, you know, better late than never, I suppose. And it does look good. So pretty happy with it overall. And so now I can get started back on it. So that's fun. Probably first thing I did, like I mentioned, is go and clean up all this stuff. This is, it's actually not as nasty as the Ghia was, luckily. So, but it's still pretty gross. So this is all got to be cleaned back here, made spotless, and then undercoated with a textured rubberized undercoating that we use. This will all look pretty much new, and then from there we'll pretty much start putting it back together. Let's see, so yeah, once I do that to the front and back, then at that point we'll probably go ahead and have Octavio do the wiring, or excuse me, the headliner and the sliding aftermarket ragtop install. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, glad to have this one back. Got more color in the shop now, and with the metallic green bay window that just came in, the ruby red, the yellow bug, or excuse me, yellow Ghia still here, probably for maybe another week. We'll see. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. The Bahama blue, and then sitting right there as of tomorrow will be the 64 Deluxe bus in turquoise, two-tone with turquoise. It's kind of funny because this fan is kind of a pretty similar color. So I guess that's the placeholder now for the turquoise bus, is a turquoise fan. Anyway, so yeah, that's going there as of tomorrow. It's done. They were just finishing polishing it today. So yeah, we actually spent quite a bit of time today just moving vehicles around, trying to make sure that we can fit 10 cars in here. So 4 cars across here, 1, the bus that's coming tomorrow, 2, and then on the other side there is actually the chassis for this one. So there's 4, and then 3 across here, and then 1, and then my 2 here. So yeah, 10 cars fit in the shop. It's a bit tight, as you can see, but you know, we can, most of these cars are rollers, and will stay that way for the time being. So, you know, if I go to work on this 69 bug, which I probably will tomorrow, I'll just move it out here into this open space and do what I need to do, and then kind of squirrel it away at the end of the day. It's a little bit of a pain moving cars around, but again, our shop is small. We can fit my 2 cars plus 8 customer cars in here. That's plenty of work for Rafa and I to keep us busy. So it allows us to stay kind of focused and turn cars around in less than a year, even for full restorations. A lot of shops are taking 3 years, 5 years, longer. The fact that we're kind of small and we're limited to about 8 customer cars kind of forces us to stay focused and keep things moving. So that's kind of the big news for today. The double cab project, I didn't really touch it today, although I started doing some research on some brake options, some engine options. I may actually build the motor for this one myself. I'm probably one of the most meticulous engine builders there is as far as how I measure things and put things together and stuff. So For this bus, I may go ahead and do it myself. We'll see. The Ghia did get a little love today. I took it for a pretty long test drive this morning. Finally, up until this morning, Rafa had taken it for a test drive. He liked it a lot. I took it for a test drive. I also liked it a lot. This is a bitchin' little car. Super fun to drive. Little 1600 dual port, really strong motor. The brakes are fantastic. The handling, the steering, the suspension. This is a really, really nice little car to drive. A couple little things that I'm going to try and take care of on the car. One is the idle speed was set a little bit low, and the car was dying occasionally when pulling up to a stop sign or a stoplight. So I adjusted that some, adjusted the choke a little bit as well. Some little things like that I'm playing around with. The other thing is that the turn signals cancel on their own when you make a left-hand turn, but not a right-hand turn. So probably go ahead and pull the steering wheel off and see what's going on in there with the cancel mechanism. See if I can get it to cancel for both left and right turns, because that's how it's supposed to work. And what else? The 55 Beetle, as you can see, is sitting on the ground again with its very own front wheels now. And you can also see peeking out from behind these black Interceptor wheels, the drum skins, which for those of you that don't know, those are basically aluminum covers that are made to look like Porsche 356 aluminum brake drums. And they basically just fit right over, and they even fit over the disc brakes. So yeah, it kind of gives it that 356 look. They're basically just sandwiched between either the brake drum or the brake rotor and the wheel. Very cool. These are made by my friends at Fiber Steel. So shout out to those guys for getting me these really quick, and they look incredible. So if anyone's interested in trying to spice up their car a little bit, give it this 356 look, especially with these Interceptor wheels, really, really a good look. So those are going on the back too. For now, I've just got some 4-lug rollers on the back of the car so I could get it on the ground. The drums that we're having machined hopefully will be back tomorrow, and then I'll get the matching wheels on the back of the car along with the drum skins, and then this car is going to be pretty close to done. So I think other than that, we pretty much moved cars around. So you can see things are getting a little tight here. We moved the 64 body that way. We moved this bus that way. Made space here for the 64 bus. This looks like a pretty big space, but once we get a bus in here, there's going to be like, maybe a foot on each side. So it's not as spacious as it looks probably in the video. And yeah, put this one back on the ground pretty much so I could move it that way to make room for this right here. And then even the double cab here, we moved it that way a little bit. So again, kind of tight, but pretty much all the cars are rollers, so we can roll them around and move them as we need space. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.